Hi folks, welcome to my humble homestead in the forest in Canada. And today I wanted to talk to you about an experience I had recently. Are you familiar at all about with the concept of potlucks? Okay, ay ay ay, or ooh la la, depending on where you live. Incidentally, when I was little, I used to think that when you say ooh la la, it meant a faux pas or something not right or oh geez kind of thing. So, whereas today, if you say ooh la la, something sexy. So I was talking to a friend, and we live in the only official bilingual province of Canada. So half the province speaks French, half the province speaks English. And but I was talking to a Parisian French. So the French that we have here is Acadien French, not Parisian French. It's not, I would say, not at all the same. Maybe the spelling, maybe not even the spelling. But anyway, I was talking to a French acquaintance one day, 12 years ago or so. And I said this to her. I said, when I was little, if you said ooh la la, you meant like, oh geez, that's terrible. That's like, and now it's like, oh ooh la la, it's sexy. And she said, no, you're right. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it was originally. But isn't it funny how we've gone from, oh geez, oh yeah, to ooh sexy. I digress. But anyway, potlucks. So I recently was at a potluck, and this isn't unique to this particular potluck. It seems almost every potluck that I go to, there's always somebody, at least somebody, one family, one person that's like this, and that is this. I'll tell you. So the etiquette of a potluck. Let me just tell you, for those of you who don't know what a potluck is, or the concept of potluck, maybe they don't have it in your neck of the woods where you live. It's hard for me to imagine, but then I'm not well traveled, so I don't know. Maybe you don't know. So for those of you who don't know, and forgive me if you already do know, and if it's different where you live, the concept in any way, let me know. I like to know. I love knowing these facts. Potluck is when a group of families, friends, neighbors, whatever, get together and they bring dishes to share at one setting. It could be someone hosting it, one person's house. It could be at a neutral place, like maybe a park. It could be at a community center. It could be at a church, a religious whatever, like church or synagogue or whatever, temple. But the concept is always the same. The one that I'm telling you about, where people bring food to share with others. Now, that's the gist of it. The etiquette of it is that, well, I'll go through many of them. In my opinion, my humble opinion, and I may be wrong, and if it's different for you, let me know. I always thought that you're supposed to bring enough for your family. So if you're a family of one, you bring enough for one, plus more to share with others. So if you're a family of one, you bring enough for yourself and some to share with others. Two, you just keep adding. The bigger your family is, the more you bring. Because A, you have to have enough to feed your own family and then some to share. Now, if you decide to be if you decide that you want to impress others by bringing, well, first of all, it's good if you can bring your favorite dish, especially if this event happens only maybe once or twice a year. But it's not like a big effort to make the dish that you and your family like or love. But some people go all out. If you want to make it fancy, you can make it as fancy and as elaborate or as complicated or whatever as you like, or as simple as you like, as rustic or whatever as you like. But the concept of bringing enough for your family and some to share with others, that should remain the same. Now, in this particular case, first of all, there's a family that historically does not bring even enough for their own family. They bring something little, and not only they bring something little, and they might say, well, we're on a diet, or we don't eat much anyway, so we're just going to bring as little as we would have normally eaten at home. They don't. They just mound their plates, maybe even more than one helping, but they only bring a little bit. In this case, maybe even like 2 pickle jars of maybe beans or something. And folks, if you decide to bring condiments or chutney or that kind of thing, that's a side dish. That's not a dish. If you don't want to bring a dish and a side dish, you can skip the side dish. You can't skip the main dish. You know what I mean? What I mean is, if you're a vegan, you bring salad. If you're not a vegan, you can't just bring salad, because you're going to eat your salad and you're going to eat your meat dish or chicken or turkey or goose, geese, whatever. So if you don't want to bring a salad and a meat dish, you can skip the salad because you're not vegan. Do you know what I mean? You bring what you're basically going to consume yourself, and then some. And when that happens over and over and over again, and here we have there's a potluck, something like once a month or something like that. So it used to be once a week, and we don't attend hardly any of them. We attend maybe 2 or 3 on special occasions, or if it's my elderly neighbor across the road, which is just a short distance to walk, the pots and that we go to, or at the community center for like holidays and that. And the other thing is, your kids, we're going back to the etiquette, not necessarily food again. Or also, if you're going to make a dish that could be an allergen, or have things in it that some people might not be able to eat, either you make a sign with ingredients to let them know, or better yet, maybe you can skip it. Because would you want someone to eat something that they're allergic to and go into a shock or whatever, and then you ruin everyone's night? Why? If you like peanut butter so much, have it at home with your family, or have it with you can have potlucks with your own friends, real friends, not like a greater neighborhood, because you're not going to like or love everyone. And with there you can have, they know you, you know them, and we're very casual and fine. But where you don't know who's allergic to something, don't ruin the whole day for everyone by having these dishes that may not be, or put them on the side somewhere. So see that table there, that's all nuts and whatever, stuff that people can be allergic to. Don't even go near that table. Don't lay it out on the buffet table. But the etiquette of, if you have kids, and a lot of people here do, there are more kids here in our neighborhood than adults. When we moved here 11 years ago, there were only 27 of us, and I don't know what percentage was kids. Now there's 75, and 2/3 are kids. Kids, as I used to be and do, like to run around and discover things. So, when you have kids, no matter how free roaming your kids are at your own house, that's up to you. I'm not telling you how to raise your kids. They cannot be the same way at someone else's house. You understand what I'm saying? So say we have a space, some tiny bit of open space, even though there's 44 acres of it, but it's all forested. And I have been clearing around the forest. It is lots of nice walking trails and that, but I may not want kids running around there. I certainly don't want anyone's pets, anyone's cats or dogs here. Now, if it's a community center and the people have allowed for people to have their cats and dogs roam around there, I don't agree with it, but if that's what they've done, I guess that's what it is. Or if it's at someone's private house, private property, and maybe they have cats and dogs, and they welcome the rest of the neighborhood's cats and dogs to come play with each other, and I see them running around chasing each other and whatever, that's, I suppose, fine. If I don't like it, if someone that doesn't particularly care for that kind of stuff, or kids running around, they can not go. But if you go to someone's private property that says no cats, no dogs, no cigarettes, that's this property. That's why I don't hold any potlucks here that would include people like that, because they just don't listen. So I only invite maybe 2, 3, 4 families that I know are non-smokers, and they're not going to bring their dogs. Kids you can't really help, but then now the kids are older, they're more well behaved. My point is, if you're in a community center, that becomes even more of an issue, because if you're inside of a community center, kids see it as a new playground. They're just running around up and down, bumping people with the plates and drinks and the tables, and that's not proper etiquette. That's not proper. You have to keep one day, if you're gonna not restrict your kids, or I don't know how else to put it. It would have to be that one day that everyone's together. That's not your kid's playground. That's for everyone to enjoy. It's not about you and your family. So, and then you're going to have elders that you have to respect them, and they're not going to want to have kids bumping into them, running around doing like a Tasmanian devil around them. So it's you have to kind of use your own judgment and use your own common sense when it comes to how you would do this. And imagine if you were holding a gathering like that. So have it so that it's enjoyable for everyone, so you can have a good experience and say, wow, that's great. I'm glad I went there. I got to socialize, and I enjoyed seeing new people. And in this particular case, somebody had brought a volunteer or a woofer or whatever, and they brought like a little 1 cup of white rice, I think, for the 2 of them. This isn't an event to say, oh, thank God, there's a buffet. I don't have to cook for my volunteers. This isn't that. Or don't ever bring guests of yourselves to a gathering like that, unless they're contributing. That's not the venue. Do you know what I mean? Unless they're contributing the regular amount, you don't want that. It's just not proper. That's all I'm saying. What happens if you don't? If you bring your dogs, if you don't bring enough food for everyone, if you bring your guests, if you bring your woofers, you're just not going to get invited again. That's all there is to it. If you're okay with that, then you go ahead and do what you want, because some people are just like that. They just do what they want, and they don't care what anyone says or thinks, and you go ahead. And there's a consequence, there's a cost for everything, just like everything else. Anyway, I look forward to hearing what you all have to say in regards to what I said. You can add anything else to it that I might have missed, and I'm sure that I've missed some. As soon as I turn this camera off, I'll remember, and I'll be like, no, I'm not going back to re-record anything.